All right, well, it is now a crime in Louisiana to come within a certain distance of police while they're performing their duties. Kenya Ross is here to tell us what that includes. Kenya?
That's right, Jennifer. The Louisiana Legislature has now made it against the law for anyone to approach law enforcement within a certain distance while they're taking on official duties.
Okay, so 25 feet from where I'm standing is that blue LiDAR sign that says 100 feet. Now 100 feet is for a different measurement, but from here to that sign is 25 feet.
Governor Jeff Landry signed House Bill 173, which became Act number 259, creating the crime of within 25 feet of law enforcement officers while they're executing duties. This is after the officer has ordered the citizen to stop approaching. The West Monroe Police Department says the new law can help them do their jobs effectively.
That way our attention can be focused on what we're doing, and we don't have to worry about someone interfering for what we're doing, which could cause harm to anybody and everybody. I mean, we may be dealing with something where we're protecting people and we need them to get back.
The act states that it shall be an affirmative defense to the crime if the citizen can establish that the lawful order or command was not received properly or understood. So law enforcement must clearly order citizens not to get too close.
What's going on?
Hey, stay back. Get back.
What's going on, man?
25 feet, and people can still observe, they can film, they can hear. It's not interfering with their right to be a part of witnessing what's happening. So there's still accountability, there's still transparency, but it offers an element of protection that we need in situations.
And the law states that whoever violates the lawful order will be fined no more than $500 and imprisoned for no more than 60 days, or in some cases, they may receive both.